Welcome back to another episode of Murder and Coffee. So today we're going to again talk about the Christopher Watts case. I'm going to touch on where he is, how he's doing in prison, if he's had any issues. Along with that, I'm going to do a kind of a recap on my video on the burial sites for the girls and for Shannon. So grab your cup of coffee and let's get to it. Okay, first let's start off with Christopher Watts. How is he doing in prison? So far, he's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing, serving the rest of his time sitting in a cell doing nothing every single day. 23 hours a day on lockdown, 1 hour a day he's allowed out for recreation, and that's it. He does recreation by himself. He is not allowed at this point to have any contact with fellow inmates. Now that will change down the road, but right now he is definitely excluded from any group activities with other prisoners. And that will change actually fairly quickly. It could change as soon as another month or even less from now. As long as he keeps following the program, he could be reevaluated and they could allow him out of his cell for, up to 14 hours a day. Most likely it'd be 12. But right now, he's on lockdown, 23 out of 24 hours a day. He has purchased commissary with the money that he has gotten into his account. He has purchased basic hygiene products, some snacks, writing paper and envelopes, and pencil or a pen or something, I think it is. It is a pen. He has purchased pen. Now, I had to actually look this up. They have pens. This is obviously a mechanical pencil, but it's a pen, like you would have at home, like a Bic pen, but it's not rigid. It's flexible. They call it a safety pen, so it can't be used as a weapon because you can't stab anything with it. Okay, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about the burial of the two girls. Into the forensic science behind the burial and what happens to a body once someone dies. When I said both of the girls have the same time of death, that is an estimated time of death, and the coroner actually called it at the time that they were discovered and he wrote down that. But based on that, they know that both of the girls, going backwards in time, have the same forensic things with their body that show that they were both killed approximately closely together. This is different from Shannon. Shannon has a completely different amount of these things. So, based on skin slippage, pattern of veins around the eyes, rigor mortis, blood pooling in the body, liver temperature, overall body temperature, gaseous releases, and muscle droppage, they know that both of the girls have approximately the same time of death. Now, there are ways to forensically, do countermeasures. He could have killed one, put one in the freezer, and then taken her out, and then killed the other one. But there's no. They would have done blood work on both of the girls if this would have went to trial, and they would have seen ice crystals or the splitting of the cells from being frozen. So there are ways to test if he would have ever done that, but he didn't do that. So this is you need to understand this, and I need you to look it up for yourself. There is absolutely no way that one girl was dead and the other one was in the driveway in some video. It didn't happen. Turn the volume off, don't listen to the commentary, watch the video, and tell me if you actually see a hand, a foot, a head, or anything standing or walking in the video. What you're basing your opinion on and the opinions of others is a shadow that is smaller in size than Christopher Watts' shadow. Now, that shadow can be broadcasted. So if you have a light sense here, like his side of my hand is all lit up, the other side of my hand is dark. If I change the light source from here to here, it will shoot the shadow this way. Now I put a shiny object up here, you can get a double shadow off of things. And now, and introduce a car coming down the road this way with it shining the light from the opposite direction of the light on the garage, you could definitely get a double shadow. I'm not trying to convince you of it. I have tried to find multiple forensic scientists who would actually examine this video, and none of them will, because we all know that the video is altered. It's been altered from its original content, and they will not put their name on and do a forensic analysis of this video because it's been altered. If we had the original, we could actually do a forensic breakdown of the actual video, but we can't. You couldn't use this in court at all. He couldn't use it for his defense, and they can't use it for the prosecution. That is known. All right. Next, Shannons Burial. Shannon was not found in a fetal position, but I can see how people can see that and determine that it was a fetal position by the picture that I posted, but she was not curled up in a ball on her side. That would be a fetal position. She was like that, but laying down in the grave this way with her arm out this way in front of her. And bent at I think it was, I don't have the report in front of me, the notes, but it was about a 40-degree angle, bend at the elbow. Her decomposition and acid, well, that's the girls. The decomposition for her was different from the girls. So they know that she had an approximate time of death that was different from the girls. So if he killed her and then killed the girls, this is the part that I'm still investigating and doing research on. If they know that there's a time of death difference between her and the girls, does that mean that the girls died before she got home? Did they die earlier or did they die later? It doesn't say in the notes about this. And you can request most of what I'm talking about, so don't think that I'm just rehashing the news. Most of this stuff can be requested if you go through the Weld County District Court number 3 and request the records. You're going to have to pay for them just like I did. But you can go out there and spend your own money just like I did to get these records. All right, now back to the girls in the tank. Another thing that also helps narrow down their time of death as being close is because both of them had the same amount of decomposition, and the acid had affected their skin in the same way. The acid that is in these tanks is caustic soda and hydrochloric acid. It's put in to help break down the sludge in the tanks. Now, but the hydrochloric acid is a secondary acid that is added to the tank. Caustic soda is the first one that is the most prevalent in the tank. They use the hydrochloric more to clean out the lines that actually pump in the crude oil, because it does build up in the inside of those pipes fairly regularly. So they do pump it from the motor inward, and then they flush it through. All right. Now, when it comes to the vomit that was next to the tank, it only says in the note that from the one detective. Now, I based my comments on that. I do not know anything more than that. I can't prove it, and as far as I know, it was never tested. They said that it looked like he did a cursory cleanup of it and threw the rocks and sand and stuff into that one tank. Again, do your own research. I mean, I'm here just to report what I can factually, support and what I've been able to confirm through another source. And I have confirmed everything in this. The one detective noted it, but another detective saw it. So And the same detective who saw, how she was buried in the grave, another detective saw it, but one detective noted it because when they work together, one detective takes notes, the other one, watches how they're doing it, and if he needs to, he takes notes. But it's not always like, well, two people walk around with their heads down writing everything. They do, their examination together. And then they both sign the notes at the end when they turn them in. I don't make this stuff up. This is how it's done. Thank you, everyone, for joining me for Murder and Coffee today. I hope you stay safe out there and enjoy your Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And today's a federal holiday, so I'm off of work. So for today, I'm going to, after Murder and Coffee, I'm taking my son to a local carousel so he can ride on the little ponies on the carousel ride, and hopefully catch one of the little wooden rings that they give away. If not, I'll buy him one, and he'll enjoy it just the same. He'll bite on it for about an hour. But that's what I plan on doing today. So you stay safe out there, and thank you again for joining me.